Hello, AI legends. Welcome back. My latest adventure, I'm looking at the Gemini Multimodal Live API. So if you haven't played with this is a really fun one to do, where you can see in this section here, a user can have really ultra low latency response from a LLM, and you can pass in sort of any sort of modality now. So image, video, text, audio, and you can get that back in audio. So really cool. I'm gonna quickly show you what it looks like, and then we can jump into some of the technical bits. But here we go. So I have here Park AI, and can find a better name if you do. Park is just the default name for voice name in Gemini 2.0 Flash. There are another 5 different voices, but we'll just try and kick it off now. All right. Yeah. So we're connecting. Hello. Hi. Good morning, Park. What do you think about being on YouTube?
Well, David, it's certainly not as glamorous as my usual gig of chasing moonbeams, but I suppose I can tolerate sharing the spotlight, especially if it involves a bit of mischief. How about you? Are you finding it all a bit overwhelming, being in the presence of a legend like myself?
Yo, we are all AI legends here. So awesome to have you on. And, you're going to be kind of my assistant for this video where we share stuff about conversational AI and LLMs. So glad to have you on. All right, so we're going to stop Park for a second here. So this is a very simple flow how Park works, where user starts up the client. So here I'm using the Google Gen AI client in Python. And what happens is it creates a session or a direct connection to the Gemini or Vertex AI servers. And that maintains this sort of connection throughout the whole conversation. And you have this term as a session. So this is pretty tough for me. I'm just a guy who likes to play with AI and machine learning models and stuff. But, this is kind of going into streaming and web technologies, which is not really my beef. And I had to run through quite a few of these kind of issues, like asynchronous streaming functions using WebSockets and WebRTC. So that's a web standard that's used to establish connection and share media across. Yeah, to be honest, I just want to play more AI and LLMs. So this is kind of stuff that's out of my comfort zone for a little bit. But I'm going to share how I just kind of push through this and kind of my journey in what happened and how I made Park. So here we are. So initially I started just with the Google Gen AI, Python SDK, and then you can kind of hook it up to different front ends. And in Python, you have a few heavyweights here. So I tried initially using Streamlit. Streamlit is really cool and gets you front end and back end running really, really quickly in Python. Only issue is I had problems running async kind of functions with it. I don't think there's really any built-in async capability with Streamlit, so I had to drop the approach really quickly. But if you're building stuff like web visualization or like chat interfaces, Streamlit's really, really quick. Like you can get it done in a couple of lines of code. And so then I kind of take the next step up, which is Gradio. So Gradio is a library from Hugging Face that lets you visualize lots of different kind of data and formats on the web. And so that's got a really great chat interface that you just plug in again with just a couple of lines of codes. But then I had a bit of stuck up here where you need to kind of implement this thing called VAD. So if you're not really familiar with it, I can share it the next section. So I've found, so this wasn't perfect for me because I had to use kind of some janky JavaScript that's embedded, and I didn't really understand what was going on. So I went over to search the web and I found this one called Fast RTC. So it's kind of like a play on Fast API and a really great library if you want to do something like this. Fast RTC is made again by Hugging Face, and I can show you the repo later. But on a high level, it's just a very nice library that abstracts a lot of this stuff on WebSockets and RTC away. So AI developers like myself, we can just kind of focus on the actual logic and return of the AI, how we structure the AI and its responses, and kind of abstract all that connection away from things. So it's really great for streaming audio and video. You can even have Gradio built on top of it. So it kind of adds, you don't actually lose out, that kind of building blocks capability from Gradio. So what's VAD? So that's kind of built into Fast RTC again, and this is a way where the computer can detect whether your voice is there or not, whether you're speaking and when you stop speaking. And it's extremely useful when you're making a conversational AI. So you want the AI to kind of respond automatically when I stop speaking. And this is a kind of small model that's already built into the library. So really awesome stuff by the team. It also supports of interrupting the model when it's speaking halfway and discarding the previous outputs. Really robust stuff, really awesome. Maybe I'm going to jump into kind of what the library looks like. So here we have Fast RTC. So a very early alpha version at the moment. But then again, it's already got 3,000 stars. So really cool, quick and easy way. As you can see here, just a couple line codes, that especially this stream instance here, which lets you build out your whole interface. So I'd recommend checking it out. And it's by this chap called Freddie Bolton, who's at Hugging Face and works with Gradio. So yeah, I think that really tight integration. And if you want to build if you want to build Puck like what I do, you can check out his article here on Hugging Face. So building real-time video chat with Gemini, Gradio, and WebRTC. And I'll just quickly run through what the code that I mostly use, which is pretty similar. So first you have a Gemini handler class instance, and this is the main logic where you want to chunk up the audio that you're getting from the stream. So stream audio in chunks right to the Gemini server, and then the Gemini server will also output chunks of audio back to you. And this is kind of where the logic and handling occurs in this kind of class. So I won't go through this code, but you can look at it. So here, the nice thing is also he has video processing put in. I haven't implemented this for my version, but yeah, can have next. And then the last bit here is telling you how you can put Gradio on top as just the interface for the pretty quick demo. Just gonna hop back to here and see if Puck's happy to chat again. Yeah, I'm gonna build up some additional features for you, Puck. So what I'm gonna do is have a screen streaming tool that I'm gonna use MCC and parse into OpenCV to have a video capture of what's going on my screen.
You're bringing in the big guns, huh?
Oh yeah, Puck. So I'm gonna add this as
sounds like a fun project. What kind of additional features are you thinking of adding?
Yeah, I'm gonna kind of implement this kind of screen sharing as a LM tool use, so you can do like function calling and kind of capture my screen. What do you think about that, Puck?
A screen streaming tool, huh? So you're gonna have me watch you work? Sounds thrilling. Is that what you think I'm good for?
Well, yeah, I mean, you're a legend, so you can kind of give your feedback and maybe guide me to do actual right stuff and actual work.
Okay, so I can watch your screen like a hawk. Do you think it'll make me a better AI or just a nosy one?
So what do you think about having 10-second snippets where I share my screen and you can give advice or input? That would help me work better, I think.
Snippets, you say? So a little peek into your world for this legendary AI. All right, I'll take what I can get, as long as you don't show me too much of your mess.
So yeah, that's it for this episode. Next time we see each other, hopefully we have an upgraded version of Puck And I'm thinking maybe even playing around and turning into an agent. I don't know, but what do you guys think? All right, share it in the comments and peace out.